That was the weirdest one of it.
You know, that is totally rock and roll. What the heck?
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Clean and Sober Stoner.
Thanks for having us. Man. Thanks for having us.
What has life been like for you three since the album dropped?
Well, exciting. Yeah, to say the least, really exciting. Yeah, it's just been unreal, the amount of response it's been getting. You know, it's just something we weren't really expecting, to be honest, after releasing. You know, we didn't have any music out before, and so all our shows we were getting and everything, that was the only place anybody could ever hear us. So
right.
It's given us a lot more reach. And we kind of found out that more people liked us than we initially thought they would. So it's been pretty cool.
Now, had any of you guys ever checked out the Doom charts before the release?
I think I had. Yeah, I have. I knew they existed. Yeah, I didn't really religiously check them all the time and stuff. But still, I mean, I've seen a bunch of really big bands on there and stuff. Recently, so it's pretty cool just to get on there, to even have our names on it, regardless of what our rank was. Which I think.
Well, I hate to tell you guys this, but you hit number 19.
Oh yeah,
you would be considered one of the big guys.
Well, yeah, that is surreal, honestly. All this, I mean, we weren't expecting any of this. I don't even know how to react to it, to be honest. Yeah, it's such a cool thing. No, it started as, just having fun, really turned into something that people seem to enjoy more and more every day. And it's humbling and very cool. Absolutely.
I think you hit the nail on the head, because the album is just fun. I mean, out the gate. I don't know if you saw my little short, when I put in the "You're Number 2. That is actually what it was like to listen to that opening. I think the opener's called Law, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Holy crap. And it's like, when I first heard it, I took a break, went downstairs, got myself some ginger ale, took a deep breath, went back up here to the studio, put it back on, and it was relentless onslaught after onslaught after onslaught. It just didn't end. And by the time it was over, I was like, almost breathless. It was just that good.
Well, thank you.
So when I read your, your biography on Bandcamp,
mm-hmm.
you guys are coming across like, hey, we're just doing a stripped down version of our favorites, right?
More or less. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about those favorites.
Well, I'll start. You guys say so. One of my biggest influences, of course, is, Black Sabbath. And I feel like any stoner doom band can say that. But before this guy, Alex here, really introduced me to, heavy music, all I'd listen to was, country and bluegrass and, traditional blues and stuff. And Black Sabbath. And that was it. And then he showed me Sleep and Weedeater, 3 years ago. And I was like, what is this? It's like modern Black Sabbath. I had no idea that this genre was even a thing. And I just kind of dived into it and just started listening to a ton of Weedeater, Sleep, Acid King, Mono Lord, guys like that. And it just really just took off from there with, my writing and, how I play music and all that. It's really influenced me a ton. But
probably a good idea if I have each of you introduce yourselves and what instrument you play, so that I'm not guessing in that. I'm horrible. I should have done that first question, but yeah.
Well, I'm Jake. I do vocals and play guitar. I'm Al. I play bass. I'm James. I play the drums.
Al. That is some wicked bass playing, by the way. Bass player myself. That's the first thing I listened to. And then you have a fourth member of the band, whoever did the recording and the production of that.
He's just a good friend of ours, and he recorded us. He's production engineer, Riley Appert. He's the man. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, super solid work with him. So we've done it for years.
He was previously
Okay.
Basilica. He's in Ironsides now, and he's doing home recording through his studio now, and he does a great job.
Yeah, he does a great job. And y'all are in Boone, North Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the hotbed, the metropolis of North Carolina. Anything that's happening happens in Boone.
Of course,
that's what they say. That's why
it's
we
all
play.
hustle and bustle out here.
Yeah, that's why we play out of town 99% of the time.
And you've been gigging pretty heavily, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've been staying pretty busy as we can. Hopefully it'll take off a little bit more now that, we have something out there for people to listen to. So.
Yeah, I would say so. And then what does the next month or two look like as far as gigs?
We don't have anything planned until June right now. Of course, we're going to be working on stuff, but honestly, after how crazy promoting the album was and everything, we're not too worried about it. Just taking a little break. We're going to be writing a lot and stuff, try to get a next album ready. So
Yeah.
that's our game plan right now. Then hit it hard in summer and fall and winter and keep on rolling.
So what is it about Weedeater that really struck you guys?
We saw them a couple of years ago at a festival in Tennessee called Muddy Roots, and we've all been like fans for a while. I think seeing them live a few times over the years just really solidified what I think is just kind of a perfect live show where it's just very engaging and sonically really pleasing. I don't want to say we're copycats. I don't think we are.
No.
That's different. Yeah. I think the thing with Weedeater is, and this goes for any band, is that you don't really get the full experience unless you see them live. But I think that Weedeater is the one of the kind of the ultimate example of that, where the studio stuff, I like it only because it reminds me of when I saw them live. Live Weedeater is, they have something else going on beyond just the music they're playing. It's very orchestrated, planned out, and just tight as can be. I think that's why
I know that Weedeater likes to play it off like they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, screw Keith Richards. I want to know how Dixie is still alive after all these years.
Yeah,
Absolutely. That is the biggest mystery.
it's the cough medicine.
Yeah. But you're not just a Weedeater clone.
No.
So what are the vibes do you channel when you're doing the recording and the writing?
I'm a huge fan of Windhand. Honestly, doing the Windhand thing is very hard to do and make it good, which is why they're so good at it. But a lot of my tone on my guitar is kind of geared towards that, but maybe a little more aggressive. Because, I have 2 Mad amps, full stack, and fuzz pedals and all that. Not to emulate that tone, but maybe take some from that and blend it some with like Matt Pike or something, High on Fire, that kind of maybe a nice mix in the middle.
Yeah,
and also their songwriting and just the riffs that they do is the combination of psych and grunge and doom all together. I really like that, and it's not just a copy paste, same riff, different song kind of stuff, and it's just has soul to it. And we try to do that a little bit, but maybe on a little more aggressive level. So
yeah, and I think
That's really. Go ahead.
I think to go off what Jake was saying, I think I come from more of a punk background in a lot of senses, and I think there's something really cool about our amp and drum setups where we can let our notes ring a little bit more. I think there's something really refreshing, kind of cool and fun, and a lot of cool stuff you can do with it, sonically, and it's just exciting to do.
So what kind of gear are you sporting on the bass rig?
I'm running an orange Tiny Terror and a Ampeg V12 through a 610 and a 410 Ampeg.
How do you like the orange?
Oh, it's great. It sounds awesome.
That thing, it weighs like a lunchbox, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what bass?
I found this like boutique Waterstone on online marketplace. It's a semi-hollow. It sounds great. It's kind of like a Rickenbacker clone. I get a lot of compliments on it. It's fun. I like it.
So you're not playing a Fender P bass or a Rickenbacker, and you're a stoner band. Is that legal?
We've gotten away with it so far.
Yeah. I have a P bass in my closet that I pull out sometimes just for the hell of it. But special occasion. Yeah, I like my Waterstone. It's good for feedback and just kind of extra sound sometimes.
Hollow body, how heavy is it?
It's about 5 pounds. It's a little more than that.
I'd say 7.
Yeah, but it's a little heavy. It weighs less than our friends in Bongfoot. Their bassist uses a PET 40. It's awesome. I love everything about it except how much it weighs.
Yeah, that was my first bass back in the actually my second bass back in the 70s.
Awesome.
About 12 to 14 pounds of, oh God, it didn't have to be this heavy. And then the neck, it's not like a baseball bat, it's like a cricket bat. It's just huge. Yeah. Love those. Hollow bodies, I mean, that's just a real smart choice. Gives you a little bit of energy at the end of the night. And you guys brag that you've got gear for huge venues.
Yeah.
Overkill for the small ones, right?
It is. And it seems like every show we have a sound guy telling us to turn down. And at least with my rig, I can only turn down so much before it just starts sounding really bad.
Yeah.
So I'll sometimes just do the fake knob turn thing. And I'm like the, what do they call that? The placebo effect. And about more than half the time, the sound guy's like, that's good. Thanks.
Or you can just get everybody else to turn up, so relative volume.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. We bring full stacks to every show we do, no matter how big. So,
yeah.
Good for you. And then drums. What kind of kit are you sporting, dude?
So I actually recently got a new kit. I had a Mapex Meridian Maple for a decade, and it was just starting to fall apart. The hardware was failing. I still like it. I still have it, but I upgraded to a Ludwig New Sonic made here in Monroe, North Carolina, in a black and white finish. I'm using Peisty cymbals, Zildjian, and Omega.
So how big a kit is it? How many do you have? Like a Neil Peart, like 20 toms?
Not quite. I have 4 toms, kick and snare.
Okay. What I love about Stoner lately is the drum kits have gotten really small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So watching a band like Elder, which is huge, and he's got this small little kit that normally I would think somebody just starting out would use. So cool. So you're already working on the new album?
Yes. Yeah, we've got 2 songs written already that weren't on the first album, and hopefully going to get a couple more written in the next couple months.
So could we look at a new release end of the year or beginning of next?
Probably not that soon. We're shooting for next year. Yeah. We'd like to take some time on this one.
Yeah. We'll probably play them on the road, though. Whenever.
Yeah. We'll play 5, but we won't be able to release them probably till next year. Because first album, funnily enough, we haven't even been playing shows live for a whole year yet. We just started last year about this time, and our good friends in Bongfoot and Empire here at Boone invited us on their summer tour that year, and we didn't even have a full set list together yet. So we had like 3-4 months to write basically a whole album worth of material. So we just kind of banged just banged it out, what you hear on the album that we released, and turned out really good. But it was definitely a different experience than we were used to writing.
Oh yeah,
we formed those songs on the road basically. And
a little more rush than we would have liked, so we want to take our time for this next release.
Oh, yeah. So it's going to be a little bit different from the first one, but still kind of on that same course. I'm
trying to wrap my head around how that would be. Again, the album is absolutely killer. Hit number 19, which so I wake up on that Friday and look at the Doom charts, and I'm looking at the bottom. I'm like hoping you and Skull Servant are going to play somewhere. And then, boom, both of you are there.
Oh, yeah.
What was that? So any reaction to that? Any excitement, or just kind of cool? Let's do another one.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, honestly. Yeah. Like I still haven't fully felt the gravity of that. And then seeing like Acid King on the same list, number 1, and then we were at 19. I just never would have thought we'd even be on the same list as Acid King.
Yeah, not even the same ballpark.
Yeah, not even the same ballpark. But just seeing that was so cool for us.
And we're starting to see bands that aren't just our buddies and parents and stuff. So I guess thanks to the bands.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm glad you're humble, and I'm glad you're underestimating, but you put out an album that honestly is probably going to hang around for a year or two. I mean, there's probably going to be continuous sales. It's just that good. And right now, talking to you, I'm trying to figure out how did you do it, and how do we not screw it up for the next time? Because
I think in the same way. No fun allowed. We got to take it seriously now. Yeah.
Now
tell me about. Well, I mean, there's two other factors I think that went into it. One, your name is perfect. Because, and then the album cover with the car. Are you familiar with Fu Manchu at all?
Oh yeah,
we've seen them.
Yeah, we saw the best market show. Yeah.
No.
So you've got.
Manchu.
Because I remember when I first saw it, you guys were popping up on the North Carolina web Facebook page. I honestly thought you guys were players like Minerva, Doomsday Prophet. Not quite Corrosion of Conformity. I'm not going to blow smoke up here, but I had no idea this was your first album. I had no idea how new you guys were, because it comes across like a classic. It could have come out 30 years ago, 20 years ago, or today. It's kind of timeless. So each one of you, what's your favorite song on the album?
That's tough. That's tough.
To play. Okay, let me phrase it differently. What song on the album, when you're about to hit it in that set list, just puts you over that line? You just love playing it so much.
To play live?
Oh, yeah.
It's probably different for all. Me, I like playing Fiend. That's probably my favorite once I get that tom group going on. It's pretty fun.
Good answer?
I got Last Bullet.
Yeah, Last Bullet is pretty fun. Man, I like all of them for different parts, but if I had to single it down, the one that really gets me going, I would probably say probably Last Bullet, just because the guitar solo in that one is so much fun, and to play it live, especially people that's never heard it before, because it's super slow the whole time, and then we break down into that like little fast part, that kind of breakdown thing, that just out of nowhere, and that catches people off guard for the from what the rest of the song is, and started some mosh pits before and stuff out of nowhere, and that was pretty cool. So it gets a good reaction when we play that one live. So that's probably. So
you like seeing the mosh pit form?
Yeah, absolutely, and that is definitely going to shape our next album to be a little more energetic, and maybe just more mosh work, I suppose, because there's parts on the first album where mosh pits are formed, but we want to be more often. If that makes sense. So
yeah, that's great. By the way, my favorite, Crow.
Crow, really? That's the first one we wrote. Yeah.
That beginning. Now, when you're doing that, are you just stymieing back on the volume?
No, see, I actually need to change the way I do that now. But I just hold the chord out and I use my pickup selector and I just click it back and forth, and it kind of does this cool feedback thing. But I broke in 2 guitars doing that live, so I need so. But yeah, that's definitely a fun part. But I got to do stuff else because I'm changing pickup selectors like crazy doing that. Yeah,
maybe a volume,
maybe or kill switch or something. I don't know, but yeah. But I'm tired of breaking guitars.
It's kind of expensive, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah. And especially when it's happened. Most of the time, I have a spare guitar I bring with me. But a show we did a couple weeks ago, I didn't have one, and I had to play the rest of the set with like a half-ass working guitar. That wasn't that fun. So, but that is cool.
That is an awesome road story, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you guys lit up a lot when you mentioned Acid King, and I mentioned it. Have you heard the new album?
Oh yeah. I think it's great.
It's really different. Oh yeah, I like what they're doing. It's cool to see a band like that, like still working that hard and trying new things.
Mm-hmm.
Are any of you over the age of 30?
No.
Okay, so that's what blows my mind, being a boomer. 30 years ago, and what is it about Stoner Doom that draws you to it? That and it's fresh, it's alive. This year's like 50 years old. What got you into this stuff?
Well, for me, like I said earlier, I was always a fan of Black Sabbath, and I didn't even know this genre existed until like 3 or 4 years ago, and I started exploring it. But I was never really a big fan of like death metal and like speed metal and stuff like that, and like just super aggressive, screamo vocals. It had no soul to it, is what it felt like to me. It's just a lot of aggression. That's good sometimes, but I couldn't sit there and listen to that in any mood I was in. I find with Stoner Doom, no matter what mood you're in, you can listen to it and feel however you want to feel about it, because you can either, there's stuff that's aggressive, there's stuff that's chilled out. And it just, to me, it has more soul to it, and it's heavy, but still melodic. And I don't know, it just kind of checks all the boxes for me.
I couldn't answer that better myself. Okay, next. All of you guys, why Stoner Doom?
Well, for me, I'm in multiple bands. I think that's kind of normal for drummers, is that, there's not enough of us out there. So we end up playing with a lot of groups and things. And Stoner Doom was one of the genres that I hadn't really tried before. I was in and still am in more like a more technical metal band. I recorded a studio with a country artist. I don't know. I just love playing drums, but I don't want to resign myself to one style. And listening to Stoner Doom, I felt like there was more that could be done. I think that's one of the things with being in like the postmodern era, is that everything's been done before. So it's kind of hard to reinvent the wheel again and again and again. But Stoner Doom, it's niche. There's not a whole lot of people doing it. And I felt like there was room for creative expansion that's not available with other genres that are more, what's the term? Established, yeah.
That's a great answer. And finally, Mr. Bass Player?
When I get in a room with these guys and we're really just vibing together, this music just seems like what needs to be done. We have the amps for it. We have like the mindset for it. It just seems like the thing to do. We just read each other really well when we play this sort of style of music. And it feels good. It's rock and roll in my mind. And yeah.
Good stuff. You've clarified one thing for me, because me and a lot of the other guys on the Doom charts, we've been talking about you guys and trying to figure out what, if anything, and I'm going to have to throw it out there that the country influence probably has a lot to do, because, and I know people are going to laugh at me right now, but whatever, there is no better, more disciplined bass player than a country bass player. Mm-hmm. They have to go in there. They have to hit it right the first time. There's no room for mistakes, either on stage or in the studio. Country drumming, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Get behind that kit and keep that thing going.
It's got to be like a machine, like a train, if you will.
Literally like a machine.
Yeah. So and then you said that. I've been playing music almost 20 years now, and up until 3 years ago, all I ever did was country and bluegrass. So that was my realm, neck of the woods, until I transitioned to this. So I'm right on board with it.
I'm straight up. I'm not good enough to play country drums, and drums aren't allowed in bluegrass. So.
I know, because with loud, heavy rock, you have a lot of room. Heck, the sloppier you are, which is what Weedeater tries to pull off. I've tried to play Weedeater before, by the way, and Dixie, way, way, way better than he likes to let on.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, my friends, I really appreciate taking the time here. Is there anything I haven't asked you that you're just dying to talk about?
I don't think so. You guys good?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this was great, man. We appreciate you asking to interview us. This has been really cool for us. So.
It was a no-brainer.